Welcome to Keeping It Real with KC. I am your host, KC Phoenix, and it is officially the weekend. And I decided to make an executive decision and make this my Wacky News weekend. I was planning on doing something entertainment, but at the last minute, I was just like, you know what? I want something to make me laugh or smile or whatever. I just didn't feel like doing any entertainment news or album reviews or anything like that. And also, yesterday, I'll tell you what happened. I was supposed to record the Daily Thought for Friday. For my other channel, I had recorded my episode, but as I was preparing to upload it to my laptop, I deleted the episode by accident. So I didn't upload the episode on my other channel. Because of that, I was like, you know what? Let me take a break on Friday and just not do any episode. So that's what I did for Friday. I didn't do an episode for my other channel. I didn't do an episode for this channel. I was like, I'm going to take the day off. And it was very, very, very nice, I should say. And also I watched the movie, which I'm going to add that in my movie recommendations next time around. And I enjoyed the movie a lot. I watched the movie yesterday. But anyways, I had to go and search for some wacky news stories. And I found two stories that I came across that I was like, wait, you've got to be kidding. I'm not making this stuff up. So I'm going to run through these two stories real quick, and then that's going to be it for the Wacky News weekend. But before I do that, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. That will let you know when I upload new videos. Also, my mind went totally blank. You can follow on Instagram, KIRWKC. You can follow on Twitter, KIRWKC. I feel like I missed Facebook. You can follow on Facebook, facebook.com/KIRWKC. And if you're listening to the podcast, feel free to share it, but you can listen to the podcast at KIRWKC.com. That is the main podcasting platform. And you can listen to it there, or you can listen to it on several platforms. The podcast is on Spotify, it's on Google, it's on Apple, it's now on iHeartRadio. Welcome to the iHeartRadio listeners. It is also now on Pandora. Welcome to the Pandora listeners as well of my podcast. I appreciate you listening to my crazy little show. And on several other platforms. I'm on like 10 or 15 platforms, something like that by now. But yeah, so that's how you can consume the Keeping It Real with KC show and the Daily Thoughts during the week. All right, so here we go. For the first wacky news story, aquarium throws birthday party for depressed fish. No, I'm not making this up. The story came out back in October, and it says, we knew zoo animals could get depressed, but who would have thought that also applies to fish? It's normal to start feeling a bit down when you suddenly find yourself isolated from your friends and loved ones. A lot of people have become regretfully aware of that and I don't like to talk about certain things. This is one of them, so we're just going to skip on past that. So now, but who would have thought that a fish could also show symptoms of loneliness? We didn't even know fish were that aware of their surroundings. But that's the case with Miko, a 3-foot-long, 35-pound grouper. The 16-year-old fish resides in an aquarium at Sea Life Helsinki. Wrong, I was about to say Helsinki. Helsinki, located in the capital of Finland. Yes, science says fish depression is a real thing. A representative of the aquarium told Life Science that Miko lives alone in a large tank without other fish to keep him company. When people stopped visiting him as well, he became more still and distant than usual. So in an attempt to cheer him up, the staff at the aquarium decided to throw him a birthday party. Whether it wasn't his actual birthday, the story doesn't tell. But really, it's an excuse to have a party. Who cares? The birthday boy naturally needed a cake, but frosting and sugar aren't really in a grouper's natural diet. So instead, he got a plate full of salmon fillets, which he devoured with great gusto. Having friends for dinner. It's pretty sad that Miko has been so lonely lately, but he kind of has himself to blame for that. As we said, he ate his birthday present with enthusiasm. The problem with Miko is that he likes eating his friends equally enthusiastically. The grouper was moved to Sea Life Helsinki in 2007. Before that, he lived in a pet store, but they had to give him up when he got too big for their fish tanks. Another reason was his ravenous appetite. Sea Life Helsinki's aquarium curator, Marcus Derncheton, told the Finnish newspaper Ilta-Sanomat. He said that Miko was purchased by a private aquarium owner, but they returned him to the store when he ate all their other fish. At Sea Life Helsinki, Miko gets a meal of small fish and squid. Wow. 3 to 4 times a week. The staff thought that'd be enough to keep him sated. And so he was originally housed in a tank with other fish. They were wrong. We tried keeping Miko in a couple of different tanks, but there were continuous problems. The straw that broke the camel's back came when Miko ate an incredibly venomous lionfish. Miko was just fine, though the lionfish was less so. After the incident, the aquarium staff moved Miko into his own aquarium. Just like any other fish, however, losing his fishy friends didn't sit well with Miko. While he was waiting to be put into his exhibition tank, he started showing signs of depression for the first time. Even though he keeps eating his buddies, he still likes having them around and seeing movement in his tank. Things got better in early 2019 when Miko got his own large tank with things to keep him stimulated. He's even been slowly introduced to other fish again. So far, he hasn't eaten the 4-inch cleaner fish that swarm around the same tank. The aquarium visitors also helped. But as said, Miko started feeling down again when Sea Life Helsinki closed its doors. To cheer him up during the time that we were closed, the caretakers and other staff had lunch and coffee breaks by his tank, the museum representative told Live Science. They brushed him with a soft brush to activate him a bit, and he also had a TV to keep him company. Fish? Wait, what? They brushed him with the soft brush to activate him a bit, and he also had a TV to keep him. So fish watch TV now. Okay, whatever. According to Derncheton, Miko liked the brushings. He would lay down on his side on the bottom of his tank and change colors. You have to remember, though, that Miko isn't any more human than any other fish. They all need activity around them all the same. The brush incident. Eventually, in December 2019, the staff had an idea to try whether Miko would like being pet with a slightly firmer brush. His reaction to that, however, was a bit hard to interpret. That's because he decided to eat the brush. This prompted yet another case of drama centered around Miko. There was a huge gulp and the brush was gone. We thought he spit the brush out, but he just kept swallowing it deeper. Having a brush lodged in his throat wasn't too comfortable for the grouper. He would swim around and swim up to the staff and open his mouth, displaying the handle of the brush sticking out his esophagus. It really was our screw up. No one guessed that he grabbed the brush like that. So the aquarium staged an impressive rescue operation. Miko was too big and strong for anyone just to pull the brush out, so the aquarium had to bring out the big guns. They emptied Miko's tank partially, dumped a whole bunch of anesthetic in the water. Some 15 minutes later, Miko was floating in the water on his side, knocked out. After some wrangling, the staff managed to pull the brush out of his mouth. They were concerned that operation might have still hurt the fish, but he seemed to bounce back just fine. His appetite was soon back, and Miko became as active as ever. Ever since the staff has had to be twice as cautious around him. That's a lot of hubbub about a fish. So, you know, and this is just something that I noticed. Turtles, birds, and fish are some aggressive creatures. I didn't know how aggressive fish were until I watched some videos on YouTube. Like, fish will eat anything. I've seen fish like groupers, like the big groupers and things like that, where one had a turtle stuck in his mouth and was swimming around with turtle because he tried to swallow it. Because with the fish, they just try to suck things in and it's gone. And they will eat anything. Same thing with turtles. Turtles are vicious. Birds, vicious. I'm just like, I never knew those animals could be that vicious. And they say snakes are mean. Snakes get a bad rap, in my opinion. All right, but I digress. On to the final wacky news story. All right. So, and yes, this is a story. This came out, oh, this is recent, actually, December the 10th. All right. I got to keep a straight face. I have to be able to do the story. Masters of the Iron Crotch Kung Fu struggle with lack of students. Want to start a unique hobby and help preserve ancient traditions? Better prepare your growing. It sounds like something that could have sprung from the cheesy Hollywood action comedy like Kung Pao, Enter the Fist. But we assure you, Iron Crotch Kung Fu is a real and terrifying martial art. There are many iron disciplines within the larger martial art of Kung Fu. There's Iron Fist, Iron Head, Iron Throat, and many more. What they all have in common is that they train their namesake body part to withstand tremendous impacts and possess a truly awesome power. Practitioners of these arts are capable of seemingly inhuman feats of strength. They can punch through steel plates and crush piles of bricks to dust with nothing but their forehead. Guess then which part of the body disciplines or no, guess which part of the body disciples, no, of the Iron Crotch train. Well, suppose you don't have to guess. These martial arts masters have on their intimate areas into impenetrable bulwarks of might, and nowhere is that more apparent than in their most infamous exercise. It involves a nearly 7-foot long log weighing almost 90 pounds and capped with a steel plate. The exercise involves lifting that log up into the air on a kind of pulley and letting it smash down into your growing. Did you wince? If you didn't, you might be able to help the masters of the Iron Crotch with their dilemma. The practice of Iron Crotch is suffering from lack of willing new students. If something isn't done, the martial arts discipline is in danger of disappearing completely. You might still think that this all has to be a joke. Who in their right mind would voluntarily get smashed in their nads over and over again? How is that even possible? But as outlandish it might seem, Iron Crotch, I promise you I'm not making up this news article. I am not making up this news article. Iron crotch is a thoroughly real martial art that has been practiced for hundreds of years. It is one branch of the larger Tung Bi Quan Kung Fu tradition, which emphasizes engaging your opponents at the maximum distance. Iron crotch truly seems to render its practitioners immune to penile damage. Just watch this Twitter video from Global Times. Okay, so there's a video that they have. You can check that out sometime, which shows a man repeatedly hitting himself in the crotch with a brick, in addition to the aforementioned log exercise. Wang Litai is a 65-year-old master of the iron crotch discipline. The appropriately named head of Juntung Martial Arts Academy has been practicing iron crotch for 50 years. Wang has a wife and 2 children. Now, that shocks me more. I would think that this type of martial art, you wouldn't be able to have children, but apparently he does. But I digress. The appropriately named head of Junior Martial Arts has been punched. He has a wife and 2 children. In case you are wondering if his calling his impaired, wondering if his impaired. Okay, I got to start over. Wang has a wife and 2 children, in case you were wondering if his calling has impaired his reproductive health. That was the first thing I was thinking of. When you practice iron crotch kung fu, as long as you push yourself, you will feel great afterwards, Wang told Reuters. Wow. Wang explained that the iron crotch practice consists of 2 parts. In addition to strengthening the bones and muscles of the groin, the iron crotchists use Qigong breathing techniques to focus their minds and bodies. The method we use is internally we practice breathing, externally we practice muscles and bones, Wang said in an interview with The Times. If practicing iron crotch damaged this part of the body permanently, then over time no one would do it. With this, the more you practice, the stronger you become. Without such practice, who would dare practice iron crotch kung fu? He raises a good point. Clearly, the techniques work. But despite their attested safety and even possible beneficial effects on male virility, the art of the iron crotch is close to extinction. The flow of new disciples has slowed to a mere trickle. According to Wang's fellow iron crotch master, Tang Xiaojing, there were once 200 students training at the academy in Juntung, with 80 embracing the iron crotch. These days, they're lucky to get more than 20 disciples, out of whom a mere 5 train their growings. It might partially be because, for generations, the iron crotch remained a closely held secret, reports Reuters. But we're ready to bet that a big part of it is also the fact that you get hit in the groin over and over again. In order for their discipline to survive, Wang and Tang have broken the ancient tradition of secrecy. They are now actively promoting iron crotch together with other masters from all over the world. A large part of this promotion includes staging public stunts and demonstrations. And these aren't just any kinds of stunts. According to Kung Fu magazine, 3 Taiwanese iron crotch students demonstrated their penile strength by dragging a truck with 100 passengers aboard over the distance of 3 feet. That might not seem much, but they did it using nothing but their wangs. Okay. Other stunts include getting hit and kicked in the sacks without the student showing any reaction. Other times, they have lifted hundreds of pounds with their male equipment. Wow. Okay. Luckily, the efforts of the penile martial artists have borne some fruit. Wang says that several new students have enrolled to learn the secrets of the iron crotch across China. But like so many others, the iron crotch masters have had to embrace modernity and digital technology. Most of the students now learn through social media, pre-recorded videos, and video conferences. Still, beggars can't be choosers. Wang and Tang are happy for each and every new student willing to unlock the true strength of his penis. Their goal, after all, is not to become the biggest new fitness fad. They only want to ensure that the ancient traditions of the iron crotch are not forgotten. If there are more students to carry it forward and spread it to the whole country and the world, if they can carry this form of Kung Fu forward, then my dream will come true, Wang said. This story that I just read, I promise you, I did not make up this story. I did not make up this wacky news story. Do a search. Iron crotch Kung Fu. I didn't make this up. I promise you I did. I got nothing. For those listening to this podcast, I got nothing. I got nothing. That's all I have for my Wacky News Week. Thank you to everyone who's been supporting the show, listening to the podcast. I really, really appreciate it. Monday, my daily thought. I'll do that. I'm not sure what my daily thought will be on Monday, but I'll do it. Actually, no, I do know what my daily thought will be on Monday. On Monday, I'm doing my announcement, my official announcement. That is right. So make sure on Monday you check out the show for my daily thought. I'm doing my official announcement on Monday. I mentioned it in passing on Thursday, but I'm doing the official announcement on Monday. So yeah, doing that, looking forward to it. KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. If you're watching this on YouTube or Daily Motion, don't forget to hit the subscribe button followed by notification bell. Also, the episodes are now being uploaded to IGTV and on Instagram, KIRWKC, Facebook.com/KIRWKC, on Twitter, KIRWKC. Thank you again to everyone who has taken the time to subscribe, to comment, to like, to listen to the podcast, to watch the shows. I appreciate it. Until next time, be blessed.